What I believe personally, I believe that everybody around Dr. King had some degree of jealousy for Dr. King.
That's how it is.
Do you understand me? I believe Ralph Abernathy secretly envied Dr. King because he became the man and he didn't. Now you fighting for the people. You fighting for the people. What does it matter who out front?
Rewind the tape. You said he was jealous because he was the man
and he wasn't
trying to be.
And he was trying to be the man. I mean, let's be honest. Malcolm X was murdered because people wanted his spot. I mean, let's just be honest.
Right.
You understand? So we got to understand that the ego of the Negro is something we're going to have to deal with if we're going to come out of this situation, because everybody got you. Because everybody can't be the front man.
No.
Everybody not the voice. You understand me?
Right. Somebody got to be.
And everybody wants to be the voice. I've dealt with this myself. I've had microphones turned off. I had people put a mic out the wall because of the oratorical. You follow me?
Yeah.
And brothers, charisma. People are easily envied for those who are charismatic. So when you are charismatic, sometimes you got to control your charisma so you don't envy. I'll give you this. I've been invited to share platforms with certain national leaders. I've denied it. You know why?
Why?
Because I said if I get on the microphone with him, I'm going to show him up without even trying. And I know his ego is so big that if I show him up, he might take that personal. And now I got to look both ways before I come out my house. See, I know that there are black men. Some black men are willing to kill to protect their position. You understand me? Within the hierarchy of, you understand me? So my thing is, if I know I'm stronger than you on the mic, if I'm more charismatic than you, I would rather give you the whole spotlight. I don't even want to rival you at all. You understand me? Because it ain't about that. I'm going to let you have your day. I have my own day.
Correct.
Because the last thing I could be dealing with is some Negro trying to stab me in the back because I'm getting more shine than him. And it shouldn't matter. Because guess what? One day I got to do what? Pass the baton. One day I got to give it to a younger brother. So if I'm more concerned about Dr. Umar being number one than I'm concerned about black people being number one, when it's time for me to pass the mic, I might kill him. You understand me?
Right.
I don't want him to take my spot. I'm Dr. Umar Johnson. I've been Dr. Umar Johnson. Leaders are serving their ego, but they think they're serving the people.
I had to be quiet after that because you said so much stuff right there that people already know but have never heard it broken down like that. So let's take this ego with politics, the educational system with the African American men and women growing up, elementary school, junior high, high school. I heard you in an interview. I remember back in the day, I'm class of 89, I'm old school. We had Votech. You had a way in school, free school, to get a trade, to learn how to live as an adult, even if you did not go to college, get a degree. Why did they take Votech out of schools?
To lay the groundwork for the mass incarceration of black males and to make the black man economically irrelevant to the black woman. The 1970s was the decade of the mass incarceration of black males. This is the laying the groundwork. This is the evolution. Right? Mass incarceration of black males because America didn't need us no more. Mass incarceration of black males and making a black man economically irrelevant to the black woman. In other words, we're going to make sure his woman does not fight by his side for economic justice. And that's one of the reasons they rolled the welfare programs in the black community. The welfare programs was not to help black women and their children. The welfare programs was to distract black women away from the fact that if you had your man, you wouldn't need welfare. And even now, the black woman is still being brainwashed, some of them, away from understanding that the black man's unemployment and incarceration is a government-created condition. It ain't because he's lazy. Some are, but not most. It ain't because he don't want to do better. Some don't, but most do. You understand me?
Yes.
This is the ghetto was created by the government. Mass incarceration was government. Miseducation is government. Gentrification is government. Economic justice is government. Police genocide is government. Here's what I say to black people who say black people are our own worst problem. If we are our own worst problem, name one institution we control. Give me one. Nothing. We don't control the economy. We don't control the prisons. We don't control the schools. So how can I be my own worst enemy when I control none of the systems that are crushing me daily?
Oh, gosh. Because, when they took that out of schools, you still have trade schools and all that. There was a diminish in the population of black men basically taking trades in schools. to come out and be successful and raise a family. Now, to the guys out here that are listening to us right now that are kind of in a slump, they are misguided mentally, they have no drive, they are caught in a systematic world of the just hustling and all that type of stuff. What is your advice to them?
My advice wouldn't be for them as much it would be for the community. Because remember, it takes a village. And my problem with us as American Africans is we often segmentalize and fragmentalize populations of the black community as if we don't all contribute to their malady. So the question is not, what do black youth need to do different? The question is, what does the black community need to do differently so black youth can be empowered? You don't get these drive-by shootings without the black community ignoring the youth. You don't get 8 and 9-year-olds robbing old women for their car keys if they were being supervised and raised correctly. So the dysfunction of black youth is the dysfunction of the black community. But if you notice, when you hear these conversations, it's always about black mothers need to do better. Black fathers need to do better. Black youth need to change their behavior. The black community needs to reinvent itself as a community that cares about its people. We're the only community in America that does not have safeguards to protect its own. When is the last time you seen a homeless Mexican?
In LA.
When is the last time you seen a homeless European Jew?
In New York.
But not often. You see homeless black people all the time. You understand me? My point is, most cultures have a safety net to protect their downtrodden. We don't have a safety net to protect our downtrodden. So what happens to the black downtrodden when they're hungry and homeless? They turn on black people. So in many ways, the violence that's gripping our community is our own collective community karma consciousness. We gave birth to this as much as white America did. The 8-year-old as killer, every black person's DNA is on that 8-year-old as killer's life. Because if black men was on their job, he could have never became a killer. Black men are abandoning the black community. We move out to the white suburb. I don't know of a black professional man who still lives in a hood he grew up in. I don't know one. Everyone I know moved to the suburb. You know a couple, but it's few and far in between. So if I'm a young 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old black boy, who's going to be my role model if I don't got none in my neighborhood? I'm going to go to the rappers. I'm going to go to the basketball players. And you know who's still in the hood? You know who's still in the hood? The gangbangers and the drug dealers. And that's why they the role models. Because all other black men have abandoned our boys.
Okay. Now,
white America is not going to save us, brother. We got to save ourselves.
How do we...
Economics and education. We have to start pooling our money together to provide economic opportunities for single mothers, black youth, and of course black men. White America ain't gonna hire us. Why you think they got the Afghanis in here? Why you think they got the Ukrainians in here? Why you think they got the Mexicans in here? Why they keep on bringing white Cubans in here? You know why? These are the replacements for the American Negro. Immigration is the extermination of the American African.
Let me ask you this. So Memphis, Tennessee, we have one HBCU, Lemoyne College. We have some PWIs, U of M, CBU, Rhodes, and you have other institutions where you can get an associate's degree. Now, I've always said we have in Memphis right now, especially with everything going on, we have more people going to jail than graduating school. So we had a shooting up the road in Nashville. Nashville is very progressive now. They're growing. It's flourishing. Why is it that when a metropolitan city like that with 3 HBCUs, Fisk, Meharry, Tennessee State University, where my dad went, they have PWIs, how is it that they're able to push out such a big, what's the word I want to use right now? I'll just say a large number of educated people to get in with the city to push it forward? What would it take for Memphis in our educational system that you think to help that progress like a Nashville or progress like an Atlanta that is a proud African-American city that had a hard time in the 60s but then came together? And look at it now. It's the Hollywood of the South. It's the Mecca, like Washington, D.C. We're talking about Howard University. What do you think is plaguing Memphis versus a lot of black cities that is growing and just doing well? What do you think? And you've been here before.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would have to study it a lot closer, but I do want to say this. We got to be careful not to falsely credit the black community with gains that are being orchestrated by the white power structure in the name of gentrification. So when you look at Nashville, when you look at Washington, D.C., when you look at Philadelphia, these cities are being heavily gentrified. And so a lot of the benefits or the improvements over time are improvements that were orchestrated to cater to the needs of the white people who are returning to those cities.
Okay.
You see, Memphis has not yet been hit as hard with the gentrification wave as are some of the other cities in Tennessee. You understand?
Okay.
But it's coming because Memphis is one of the most concentratedly black cities in America. So it's being left alone until they come up with a strategy for how they're going to move y'all up out of here as well. Because there's a national movement to get all black people out of America's major city centers. They want us gone. They want to swap places with us, with the rural white folks. They want to bring them into the city and push us out there. And do you know why? Once we've traded places with the rural whites,
okay,
they can do whatever they want to do to black people out there because nobody's paying you no attention. See, anything done to black people in a major city is going to make the news. It's going to be seen. It can't be hid. You understand me? But if you do it out there, you can do it and almost nobody will even know that you did it. Replace and exterminate. That's what they're working on right now.
Whew. We got a lot of people here. They standing out here in the studio looking. Oh my God! Throw some more out there because I'm just enjoying this.
The other thing we got to talk about the war on black masculinity. Jonathan Majors,
okay,
our brother from Creed and Ant-Man. He got caught up with a snow bunny in a cab. She called the police, said he choked her out. We don't know if that's true or not. She later recanted the story, but the damage was already done. The U.S. Army canceled his ads for them. Disney is considering whether they're going to remove him from the new superhero movie that they're working on starring Jonathan Majors. He's a black superhero. And it's just a shame that Jonathan Majors, Michael Irvin is another one, you know, who had a situation. Did I just?
You good, you good.
Okay, did I? My bad. Okay, my bad.
Keep going,
and so
please.
with Michael Irvin with the snow bunny in the lobby at the hotel, there was no proof that he did anything inappropriate. You understand?
Okay.
But he was removed from Super Bowl coverage just because of the allegation. Jonathan Majors lost his endorsement with the military just because of the allegation. You understand? And the thing is, you never see these type of allegations being done against the LGBTQ. So are you saying that LGBTQ don't engage in sexual harassment? Of course they do. But why does it never make mainstream media? Why does we only see it when it's a black male? And that's because they're trying to perpetuate the narrative of toxic black masculinity to feed into this radical feminist movement that's trying to destroy the relevance of black men in American homes. We got to push back against it. I want Jonathan Majors to hold his head out of it. Tiger Woods is being sued right now by a snow bunny girlfriend. She won $30 million for Tiger Woods kicking her out the house. Now, his first wife took almost $1 billion from him. Yes. Now she won another 30. I don't know what it is about the white woman. I have no disrespect towards her. But I don't understand what it is about the white woman that these black men are willing to throw away their whole life just to be with one. I don't get it. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
It's hot in here. Like Nelly. Come on. It won't throw another.
What else we got going on? What else we got?
Going on.
America is having, what is America? America going through a nervous breakdown because now you got BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
Yes.
They've decided to no longer use the American dollar as the medium of exchange for the business they do with each other.
Okay.
That's reducing the America's dollar's influence on the global market. So America now trying to get back into Africa and improve relationships with Africa to try to stave off China and Russia undermining the American economy. That's why Donald Trump was indicted the other day. It's no coincidence Donald Trump got indicted on the same day that BRICS decided we're no longer using the America of the Russians and the Chinese.
Fentanyl crisis. What do you think about that? Talk to
all of the drug addiction crises that we had in America going back to heroin are orchestrated by the government. Sometimes they use our black people and they're giving them safe places to use the drug. They're giving them places to sleep, places to eat. You understand me? It's being treated like a public health crisis. But when you get caught with crack, it's treated like a criminal justice crisis.
Okay.
White privilege.
Hip hop. Something I love.
Toxic.
I'm going to ask you a question. I know you about to go with it. Is it hurting? We know it has hurt, but as it grows, because hip hop, we all know,
most influential musical art form in the world right now.
Correct. It's a trend that they thought that was never going to expand to 50 years where it is now. They thought it was going to be a passing phase. Is hip hop going to hurt continuously the black community, or will it come back and help us?
Hip hop could be a solution, but right now hip hop is a cancer on black America.
Okay.
Why? Because it is programming our young people towards materialism, misogyny, sexual exploitation, drug use, drug selling, mass incarceration. Hip hop is the marketing medium for mass incarceration.
Okay.
And until the leading hip hop influencers change the direction of the content, hip hop cannot be considered a blessing to the black community. It's a curse until we take it back. For all that hip hop has done, the question you got to ask yourself, what has been the net gain to black America of hip hop? What have we gained as a people as a result of 50 years of hip hop? Can you name a single institution? 50 years of hip hop. You're talking billions of dollars. Billions. Can you name a single institution that hip hop has built for the black community in 50 years? Have they built a bank? Have they built a school? Have they built a hospital? Have they built a supermarket? Is there a distribution network? Is there a manufacturing industry? Absolutely not. Hip hop has not shown and proved. The losses far outseed the gains. You got some millionaires. You got some brothers who make a living through hip hop, which is good. But look at the other side of this. How many black children are out here committing crimes because they think it's popular, because they're being told this is what you need to do to be a man? How many? I do not think hip hop has assumed the responsibility for contributing to the problems in our community. They didn't invent them. Hip hop did not invent black on black crime. I want to be clear. Hip hop did not invent the violence, but hip hop glamorizes and popularizes it. Let me say this another way. Black men in America are going to go down in history as being the only exterminated population in human existence who actually marketed their own extermination. No other people voluntarily destroyed and desecrated their own public image before the world for money. I saw a Roddy Ricch concert. Somebody sent me a clip. This Negro is in Europe singing one of his songs filled with the N-word. And he has the white people, and the audience was damn near all white because most people who purchased the music are white. And he has these white people singing along with him as he sings this N-word filled song. And they're literally singing the N-word with him leading them from the stage.
That's right.
Okay, I got you.
Keep
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That was an embarrassment to every black person who ever walked the face of this earth.
Powerful. Well, one thing I can say about hip hop, especially since I've been blessed to do an old school hip hop mix noon to one.
But the old school is different.
Right.
Because the old school wasn't gangster rap. You understand me? That's my era. That's what I listened to.
Me
the
too.
80s and the early 90s before NWA convinced everybody to become a gangster. You understand me?
Right.
The Public Enemies and the Rakims and the Big Daddy Kanes. Don't get me wrong. They had a slight little gangsterism to it.
Edge.
But it was more consciousness than it was death. Today it's more death than it is consciousness. But see, the issue is when NWA came along and sold 1 million records with no radio play, every boy in the hood said, if NWA can sell 1 million albums with no radio play, I need to become a gangster rapper because I can still make it even if I don't get no rotation on the radio. And that's when everybody went gangster rap. And then when Bill Clinton's crime bill came out in 1994, the whites who control the music industry, they said, you know what we got to do? We got to direct the content of hip hop so it glamorizes the very behavior that gets you locked up so we can fill up these new private prisons that Bill Clinton promised he's going to have black bodies for.
Well, the truth hurts.
But today, I want to invite all of Memphis out. Dr. Umar will be speaking today in Memphis, Robert Church Park,